Hello and welcome back to the channel. We are talking about Congresswoman Jasmine Crash Out Crockett. Yep, there she goes. Jasmine Crash Out Crockett has done it again. She is upset with Texas' plan to redistrict the state, which they have every legal right to do. Jasmine Crash Out Crockett is having a meltdown. Now, let me break this down. After the 2020 census and a legal opportunity opened up, Texas is undergoing what is called mid-decade redistrict of the state. It's 100% legal, constitutional, and it's already was expected. But here's the kicker. These new maps are flipping blue seats red. And who's in the danger zone? You guessed it, Jasmine Crash Out Crockett herself. She's literally being drawn out of her own district. It's not a mistake, it's just math and population shifts. But that's not what she wants you to believe. So let's listen to this rhetoric that she has stated and listen to how she contradicts her own words. Take a look at this.
Pretend as if you care about what the people have to say, but we are going to make y'all listen as long as you will. This map does nothing but divide, distract, and depress. There is this idea that was put out there during his opening remarks that this does so much for Black folk. Well, let me tell you, as a Black person, it does not. Let me tell you that in this map, to be clear, y'all added two additional Anglo majority seats. Now, when we went through the 21 maps, you added two Anglo majority seats, and now you're adding two more Anglo majority seats. And then you've decided that you are going to pack and crack, and that is the language that I am going to use because that is the legal language.
Wow.
And I also
Pack
just
and
want
crack.
to remind y'all really quickly that it does not look good when you take every economic engine out of my district and then tell me that I am supposed to sit here and be so happy because you added Black folk from a whole other community. When you want to talk about monoliths and whether or not they exist, this idea that you just take people and move them around. I have 200,000 people who were never in my district, and my district is 766,000. Playing move minorities around so that you can somehow claim that this is nothing but partisanship. The only way that you get here is by making sure that you trample upon the rights and the liberties and the voices of minorities. So let me give you a few facts about the state of Texas. The state of Texas only has 39% Anglos, yet somehow under this map, we are going to have somewhere near 60 something, almost 70% of these seats are gonna be chosen by Anglos. If we were looking for fairness and to follow the Voting Rights Act, you'd have 15 Latino opportunity seats, 15 Anglo seats. You then have 4 African American opportunity seats. Then you'd have 2 Asian opportunity seats, and the other 2 seats would belong to coalitions because we are a majority minority state where over 60% of this population is people of color. So if you want to do what's fair and right under the Voting Rights Act, as well as if you say that this Fifth Circuit Court case matters and somehow changes everything, my question to you is, when are y'all gonna do y'all's maps? Because you did your maps in 2021 and then the case came out and I haven't seen y'all talk about the fact that you're gonna redistrict the House and the Senate.
Representative Pearson, you're recognized on the panel.
Thank you, Chairman. My question is for Congresswoman Crockett. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your thoughts on the map. I hear you, I understand. But you did mention something in your testimony that I think is worth drawing out a little bit on. You mentioned previously the 2 Anglo seats from before.
Yes.
Who are currently in those seats?
One of them is Lloyd Doggett, and the other one is Wesley Hunt.
And does that mean one is a Democrat seat and one is a Republican seat?
Correct.
Okay. So the Democrat seat elected a white man.
Yes.
And the Republican seat elected a Black man.
Yes.
Okay. And then so today you're concerned about the new Anglo seats, and the assumption that you're making is that it's going to lead to more Anglo representation.
It is.
Okay.
Because so to be clear, because I may have not been clear.
Okay, here's where she contradicts herself.
These seats are not about who gets elected. They're about who gets to choose who is elected. And so, my district, while it is an African American opportunity seat, it is an opportunity for African Americans to choose their representation. But they don't have to elect a Black person. We have a similar seat in Memphis, Tennessee, that historically was always represented by the Ford family. Harold Ford Sr. and Harold Ford Jr. had it, but now it is a white man that is representing that Black seat. So it's not about the faces of the seats. It's about who gets to choose who's in the seat. And that doesn't mean that they're going to choose their own race. As you see, 2 Anglo majority seats, one went for a white candidate, one went for a Black candidate. It's not about us as candidates. It's about the people that get to do the choosing.
Well, I would argue that based on the testimony that we've heard over the last week or so, it's both. We're hearing racism all over the place. We're hearing people want to choose people who look like them, which apparently has been happening. And I just wanted to make it clear that, something that has not been said yet is that there are minority Republicans. I mean, there is a Black and Hispanic Republican on the dais. And so I just don't think it's fair to just assume that the Anglo districts are going to lead to more Anglo representation.
Exactly.
Again,
but those were your words, so I'm just...
Again, I apologize if that is how it was interpreted, but my clarification is that when we're talking about the law and the Voting Rights Act, it's never been based upon who it is that gets elected. It's based upon who it is that gets to choose who is elected.
And so on that note, with these new lines, political performance was taken in consideration.
That is what we've heard from the bill author, yes.
And in previous hearings, I mentioned specifically that in the state of Texas, President Trump did win a majority of the Hispanic voters in the state. And just to broaden that even further, those are the numbers. President Trump did win the majority of the Hispanic votes in the state. In fact, he flipped, I believe it was 10 counties in the state. So don't you think that is reflective of this map, this proposed map, that the minorities who are here with the new majority minority districts that have been created?
And I'm going to answer that for you all. Jasmine Crash Out Crockett said no. So as you can see, she contradicted herself. She wanted us to believe that just because most of the seats can also be chosen by Caucasians, they're just going to choose someone who's of their race, when in fact they chose an African American on the Republic side to represent that district. So it totally debunks anything that she said previously. And again, this is just Crockett. Immediately, she jumps into full Democrat panic mode, crying racism, yelling voter suppression, and accusing Republicans of packing and cracking minority district. But let's be real. The only thing cracking is her grip on her seat. And the only thing being suppressed, her delusion that she's untouchable. But you know what? This is a typical Democrat playbook. When they start losing power, they cry foul. But what's really going on, Texas Republicans are playing chess. And Democrats like Crash Out Crockett are busy coloring with crayons, blaming racism every time they lose. So it was good to hear Katrina Pearson, former Trump advisor. She completely destroyed Crockett in a redistrict hearing with nothing but calm, logical questions. She asked, and we're going to repeat it again, wait, weren't 2 of the newly created Anglo majority districts already held by a Black Republican and a white Democrat? And then, of course, Crash Out Crockett had to admit, yes, they were. That completely blew up her whole argument about race determining representation. So again, this is just another way to try to get the party riled up. The Democrats are losing their minds. They're really trying to figure out how to refocus what it is that they're supposed to be doing. But in the meantime, let's get this discussion going. Leave a comment down in the comment section. Remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. And remember to remain curious and always stay bold. Until the next time, I'll talk to you later.